In your experience, how likely is it that following a execution of a search warrant, there will be an indictment? Because usually, from what I've seen, once there's a search warrant, look, they must have shown to a judge some kind of allegation of criminality. So they already have something to go on. They just need the search warrant to prove their case. So if the search warrant doesn't cover something, how likely you think that's going to lead to an indictment of a former president?
I think they'll take it to the grand jury, a federal grand jury, and there will either be a true bill returned or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to remember that before they took the search warrant to the federal magistrate to sign, they had to list the crimes in which they believe have been committed.
Right.
So, you can only imagine the political implosion that's going to occur um, if Mr. Trump's allegations by he and his family are true.
Mm-hmm.
And you can only imagine the ramifications that
Of
are going
course.
to occur if the basis of the search warrant, if the documents bear out evidence of a crime.
Yeah, the timing right now is we're living in a very interesting times because there are midterm elections coming up and then a few years presidential elections where Trump may or may not run. We're going to see how this plays out. You mentioned grand jury. The grand jury will have to issue an indictment or not. From what I've seen, grand juries, they just rubber stamp what the prosecutor is asking for, because in the grand jury, only one side is present, which is the prosecutor. They don't hear from the defense. So they only get one side of the story. So in my opinion, once there's grand jury convened, it almost guarantees an indictment. What do you think?
I don't know that I disagree with, I mean, I don't know that I agree with that.
Okay.
I've been involved in cases on a state level
Mm-hmm.
where I've been called as a witness in a grand jury proceeding where there was no indictment.
Okay.
So that has not been my experience 100% of the time. And I don't think we can sell jurors short. They're
Okay.
very intelligent.
I see.
And I think for me, it's in someone who has practiced law for 30 years, who loves the practice of law, who understands the integrity of our court system and holding it in high regard, and particularly our federal court system. It is very difficult to swallow to hear some of the accusations that are being made and
Right.
leveled upon the heads of our court system, in which it is one of the means by which the only remedy that American citizens can come and seek justice or redress. And things don't always go our way. I don't always win. I don't win every battle, but I certainly thank them for their consideration. If I get overruled, I thank them. If they sustain me, I thank them. And I understand there's a lot of emotion involved
Of
in this,
course.
but
Yeah.
I don't believe that you can sell a grand jury short. There's
Mm-hmm.
when you talk to people and you're able to, when they start cutting through the bull, and when we take the emotion out of it, every jury that I have ever had the pleasure of being in front of, they really have examined the evidence. I don't know that I've ever had a jury that I believe that came back and ruled in favor of me because they liked me. I mean, I see them take exhibits back into the jury room. I hear them asking to come out and listen to testimony. Or they want to hear it again because they may have a different take. Jurors may have a different take on what they heard. So I think that we're dealing with a very savvy body of individuals typically in our juror system.
Okay. Look,
And
you have more experience with the system than me. I really hope that there's integrity in the system, and like you said, that the grand jurors will do their job to actually examine the evidence if a grand jury is convened, and we'll see how this process plays out. One final question: if there is an indictment issued, and then the next step is arrest of a former president. I mean, right now, like I said, we're not hoping for it. We are dealing strictly with facts, with the law. We're talking right now in theory.